Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We are almost in December. Pretty shocking. Seems like time goes by faster and faster as I get older. It was interesting. I was sitting at my desk on a couple of Sundays ago with the intention to get a few steps ahead of my week by doing some work. Figured I had the time, why not? And I had no idea what spirit would guide me to do. All I knew was that I had my own to-do list, and I had left some prior tasks unfinished where I would complete it at another time, right? We all do that. So through a series of directions, I landed on this particular podcast episode. And I felt the need to listen to this particular episode, and there was a reason for that. There's always a reason in everything. You see, every time we're working to up-level ourselves, we invite our demons to show up. And what I mean by that is those fears, those limiting beliefs, and the faulty sense of identity that they've all become unveiled, and they're laying on the floor in front of us, waiting to be swept under the carpet again. And that day, though, something shifted in me. I'm definitely stepping into my next level self, and boy, am I facing those demons, those ones that I thought that I had laid to rest. But I'm okay with it because I know it's part of the journey. And I don't like feeling yucky. I don't like feeling the heaviness that comes with dealing with my demons. But I also know that when those feelings come up, they're there for me to observe, dissect, and then resolve. And Sunday was that day to do that. As I listened to this podcast episode, I was inspired to answer the question that the podcaster posed. And I'm going to share it with you in a minute. But first, I wanted to speak on something else. Let me ask you, where in your life do you feel discouraged? Not angry, not fearful, but discouraged. I ask you that question specifically because for the sake of this podcast episode, the question needs to be posed that way. So, where in your life do you feel discouraged? When I was at my desk, I had to ask myself that question, and I had to answer it because that's what I was feeling that day, discouraged. But this is not the question I want to pose to you today, the one that I started out with. It's part A of the Q&A session today. So I asked myself, where in my life did I feel discouraged? And I was guided down the path of asking myself this because I'd found myself, like I said, sitting at my desk, taking stock of not only what I have on my to-do list, but also of what I've actually accomplished. And of course, what I desire to accomplish. Well, I'm not going to reveal my answer. I am being guided to keep that to myself, in all honesty. I will say that I realized that the way I was feeling meant something. That the area of my life where I felt discouraged had meaning. So I delved into it a little more. I decided to lean into that feeling of being discouraged and get to the root of it. Really lean into it, not get absorbed in it, but lean into it. And so I decided to ask myself what all of this was about. Like, why did I feel this way? What was the reason? And how can I shift into a better, more desired feeling? And I sat with these questions and I began to write down my answers, pen to paper, which for me, and I think for most people, when I get out of my head and get all of this stuff either typed out or handwritten, it just clarifies everything for me. And so what I came up with was a direct correlation statement. Feeling discouraged meant something about me. But what was it that it meant? So again, I leaned into it. I dove into it. And I uncovered it. And once I uncovered it, I could then change the game for myself. So the question that came after I realized that my identity had been undercharacterized because of discouragement, I could then move forward to this question, the question of today's podcast episode. And that question is, when you feel discouraged, where are you and to what are you giving your power away? Now I'm going to say it again if you decide to write the answers down, which I actually highly suggest you do. So here it is again. When you feel discouraged, where are you and to what are you giving your power away? The deeper I answered those questions, the freer I felt to shift gears into something that I felt was a very positive feeling. And the reason for that question is to help you understand that with any negative feeling that you have, it's a sign that you're giving your power away. Any lower energy feeling, fear, sadness, anxiety, discouragement, shame, embarrassment, it's in those feelings that you realize, holy crap, I've given my power away to this person or this situation or this thought or this belief. It always comes down to a sense of powerlessness. And so when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, well, what's a metaphor here? It's like money. That's what came up for me. Money is believed to have power over us, right? When we have it, we feel relieved. At least most of us do. When we don't have it, we feel stressed, worried, we're in fear. Again, most of us do. So that begs the question, if you knew that you were voluntarily giving your power away, wouldn't you want to reclaim it? Wouldn't you want to call back all of that power and get it back into your mind and your body right now? Answering that one question will absolutely help you. And if you can figure out where you're giving your power away, then you can simply reclaim it. And isn't that an important lesson in your life? You see, your external circumstances are just evidence of what's inside of you, what's going on inside of you. If you have chaos in your home, then you have chaos within yourself. If you have peace in your home, then you have peace within yourself. Real peace. Does this make sense? So when you realize where and to what you're giving your power away, you get the option, the choice to refocus. You get to be in charge of your energy and your power. You get to choose. And I'm going to reiterate that again. You get to choose who you are and of what you're made. This choice can happen in an instant. Look where you're feeling discouraged. Ask yourself, where am I giving my power away? To what? To whom? And then decide to take it back. Change the story. Shift the narrative. And so I invite you to say this statement. I let go of the story that blank has power over me. Money, job, time, health, a particular person, to particular situation. I let go of the story that blank has power over me. And then you say, I choose to know and believe that I am powerful, that I am whole. I choose to know and believe that I'm headed in the right direction. I choose to know and believe that I'm on the right path, that I'm already fulfilled. I choose to know and believe that I can change my life in any moment. I choose to know and believe that I am safe, that I am stable, and that all is well in my world. I choose to know and believe that with one decision, I can change my life. I can change what I focus on. I can change how I feel. I can become powerful. And as you keep filling in the blanks here until you have found equilibrium again in your power, right? Anytime you feel powerless, discouraged, disillusioned, sad, anxious, fearful, this is your cue that you have given your power away to someone or to something. You see, feelings aren't useless. They're there for a reason. Our body signals us and our mind signals us to say, hey, wait a minute, everything is not okay. We're feeling this kind of way, and we need to figure out why we're feeling this kind of way so we don't feel it again. It's your job to find out where you feel, right? What part of your life that you feel the way you do, that negative feeling, and then to recalibrate your mind and body to meet the more powerful you. Where have I given my power away? Right? That's the question. Where have I given my power away? And do the work around it, and then take your power back, because you're wasting precious time feeling powerless. Simple shift, simple refocus, simple investigation. Be curious, let the answers come to you, and then you'll be able to recalibrate. I wish you a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend, and be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.